What up, guys? It has been another great week for anime and anime merch. Because if you haven't seen it already, Kon has made a crossover with Naruto, bringing out a line of shoes based on Sasuke, Naruto, Itachi, Kakashi, and Gaara. I got the Naruto ones because Sasuke sold out like that. But that's not what we're here for. What we're here for is the anime recap for the week. And we are going to just jump our butts right on into it tonight. So we're going to go starting with number 10, which is Fire Force. Fire Force, honestly, there was one segment of this that carried the entire thing, which is their mechanic trying to indulge Arthur's delusion. And his way of doing it was saying, hey, the reason your sword did not work was because this is basic stuff. This is just normal metal. You need orichalcum. Because, hey, the best sword is going to be made out of the rarest materials. And what are we going to do? We're going to give you a information gathering quest to go around town, talk to a bunch of people. Proper RPG style, really. The problem is, Arthur's an idiot. And now, rather than going to the fake orichalcum at one of the shops, he thinks it's in the Nether. So next week, we're going to the Nether again. Arthur's a fucking idiot. Yeah. This was we just had a huge fight episode. Every show has them. We just need a little bit of downtime before we can move on to the next thing. But we are going to move on to the next thing, which is Rock's Lady's Modesty. This week, we got to see all four of the girls playing together, and it was mostly our keyboardist is not good enough to be our keyboardist, and trying to work out ways that they can go around that, because the keyboardist is only just learning how to play keyboard, and we are having to hide who we are, which is difficult because that keyboard player is a professional model. Mostly in males' outfits, because they apparently have a princely affect to them. So we're going to take off your binder, let the sisters be free, and yeah, it got weird. It was still a fun watch, but that part was a touch on the weirder side. After that, we have Can a Boy-Girl Friendship Survive, which, I don't know, this is starting to get bad. The friendship, not the show. The show's still fucking excellent. This week we got the ramifications of girls sucking, because the background girls in this show are terrible. They pretended like they were extorted out of their money, got their money back, made our main guy think, hey, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I'm going to quit until we're finished high school. And then I want to say Himari, who is the lovely blue-haired lady, she's come in and was like, hey, you're throwing my dream away too, because my dream is kind of piggybacking on yours. And if you do that, don't talk to me, because you're throwing away my dream. That's not cool. Which, fair enough, but at the same time, stop being a selfish bitch. Yeah, that part's not on. I'll be honest, I am still enjoying the show itself. I wish there was more jewelry making it. Like, that's my favorite part of the show. Like, the interpersonal relationships of it are cool, but the making jewelry and explaining why we're using specific flowers, it's absolutely excellent. You know what was surprisingly not excellent this week? Ah, crap. We went too far. Catch Me in the Ballpark, which is, I swear, is sliding lower and lower on this every week, considering this used to constantly be our second ranked thing. This week, hang on, I've got a post-it note around here somewhere. This week we saw Ruriko, who, hey, actually remembering the main character's name, she got super embarrassed because our first segment was about a windy day at the ballpark, because open-faced baseball stadiums have something that others don't have to deal with, which is windy days, which can really mess with how the ball is flying and how you're going to have to hit it. The beer girls have to worry about how their skirt's going to fly, because that definitely was something that happened today. Ruriko's skirt flew up in front of the main man, and everyone got embarrassed. But the main man lied through his teeth about a home run behind her. Well, didn't lie through his teeth, just got saved by a perfectly timed home run. And yeah, made her happy because he noticed that she was pouring her beer differently, because you have to pour it differently because of the wind. Segment 2 was about the girls' day off, where Ruriko went to said main man as she was walking past him, sat down right next to him, and he did not have a clue who the hell she was, because he recognizes her because of that iconic sunflower that's always on the side of her head. Which, that's some Cinderella bullshit. Like, look at my face. Don't worry about your foot fetish. Look at my face. Just remember the face. And our third segment was about a shitty reporter. Well, a shitty magazine sending a reporter to do an expose. That's the word I was looking for. About how exploitative beer girls are. And not so much the beer girls treating their customers in an exploitative way, but the industry itself treating the girls that way. But it was absolutely shut down because these girls all absolutely love their jobs and love each other. Yeah. It dropped a little bit this week. It's still fun as hell to watch. And now for the thing that the horizontal people got a little bit of a heads up on. The Two Perfect Saint. Tossed aside by my fiance and blah, 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 blah. Too long a fucking title. Hate these titles. So we didn't actually spend much time with our MC this week, because her side of things are actually going pretty well. Her sister Mia, on the other hand, her shit is going to hell, because she's having to deal with a fiance that kicked her sister out to another country. But then again, we found out this week that she's not actually her sister, but is instead her cousin, because her parents thought they couldn't have kids. Her aunt, who is a famous saint, had a daughter, and Mia's mother and father sold the daughter because they're assholes. The Prince of the Badlands that's currently ruling things, who's not actually the Crown Prince, got thrown for a loop because the Crown Prince showed back up because we're not fucking around anymore. And we had a bunch of exposition given. But it's all pushing us towards the idea that we're going to have a showdown between the Crown Prince and the current Prince, and it's probably going to happen at the people's expense, because the people are getting attacked by the demon realm, and it's all going absolutely haywire. But also, while all this is happening, our main saintess has gotten her apprentice and her apprentice's siblings, who one of which has a rivalry that's completely one-sided with the main character, to combine all of their magic together, because they're going to make a barrier that covers the entire continent instead of just their country. Oh, that was a lot. You know what else is a lot? Sibling rivalries. Because this week we learnt about Liz, I think is how his name's pronounced, a purple-haired, beautiful bastard in the middle. Because we learned this week that he has an older brother who likes to stomp him into his shadow. Because everything that this guy does, his brother has to do better. That includes being a musician, because we found out that one of the members of Discord, the rival music group that came and showed them up in, I think, the last episode, maybe the episode before, is actually his little brother. I'll be honest, I thought that character was female, partly because of the voice, partly because of the being tiny, and they are drawn like a generic, I'm going to beat you up, like female best friend from most anime. But yeah, we got to see the ramifications of that. We got to see Liz go and model, which is always fun, especially when he puts a kabuki head twist onto it. This show is just good. The music's good. I feel like the ending of this, like the last 2 episodes, have to be peak, because it feels like it's slowly building. But I don't want this to just be a failed edging attempt. I want this to explode all over the place. Now with that terrible metaphor out of the way, we're going to go on to the Shinji family children, where this week we had a tennis episode. Starting with, we can't find the green-haired sister, which she was outside. Nobody thought to look outside. Mind you, she was in tears outside, but she was just out there. She was told she's not going to be able to participate in the game the tennis tournament she's going to be in, and that was depressing as hell. But the family all comes together and pushes for it. They get everyone into the taxi, they drive. Big brother grabs the bike when they're stuck in gridlock and doubles her the entire way there, sweating his ass off in the process. And she gets to play, but still loses, which I'm so glad they did. Because if you've got a busted ankle and you're trying to play tennis, you're not going to win. And the only way you're going to win is if that ankle stops working completely afterwards. That's the anime logic, and it's pretty accurate in real life. But in the end, she's forced to actually admit that she's upset about it. And I loved the we're your family, we're going to be here for you of it all, which was absolutely excellent. What else is excellent is another new thing for the list, which is the brilliant healers in the shadows, or something to that effect. It's another light novel title. This is the story of a healer who was kicked out of the big party, only to find out that he's actually the greatest healer in the world, though in this world, all healers are meant to get a formal education, and it's meant to be expensive and a pain in the ass to do, so it's basically put into only the nobles and better are doing this shit. He was taught by somebody, we don't know who yet, that gave him this jacket, and I want this fucking jacket. This is a dope fit. But this guy is better than everyone. But nobody thinks it. So this week we could see him go to essentially an academy for magic and trying to help deal with undead. And he finds a rivalry dude who they're talking about how many undead they can take out. And he's just like, hey, I can take out 30. That's the best I've done. And he's like, yeah, that's about all right. I've taken out about 30 at the same time. Everyone in the room's just at the same fucking time. But he ends up having to prove it because undeads form in the cemetery caused by the wraith following him to this school, because undead attract undead, and cause a giant zombie king to come out and be ultimate healed out of existence, because of course he was. But yeah, it was fun. It's good seeing an episode where it's not entirely just the harem, because most of the harem didn't come with him. It's basically just our little elf girl and the wraith. But hey, it's a good watch. You should go check it out. No, that's the wrong one. Second to last is Windbreaker. Windbreaker is not disappointing. We got to see the come down of God, I cannot remember their name. Our muscle mummy that's actually a dude pole dancing at the end of the last episode, which was mostly just talking things through. but then a bad organization, which we've already fought part of, shows up again. But it turns out those guys outsource to these guys who are basically just mercenaries that come from a part of town that just has fucking nothing. Because, hey, the part of town that we're from isn't the bad part of town. This is the dodgy part of town. Because we're going to have a escalating downward. So eventually we're going to get to, these are assassins that live in the tunnels over there, but there's nothing above them, just tunnels. Because that's the natural progression in this system, apparently. We got to see them beat up a bunch of mindless thugs, essentially. But we also got to see what happens when the heads of this other group that's currently working with Fjorden go all out, because they are dope. Next week, we're going to see the big fight because the strong guys from the other organization just rocked up. Yeah. Windbreaker it's going back and forth between the good talking and the good fights. And I'm loving how well balanced this is. But last but not least, we all saw it coming. Why are you not changing it? We had to be Hero X. Where we got another hero. I thought we were getting one more on Esol. But no, this week we have moved on from Esol onto a person with unlimited luck. That is their power, that is their shtick. And it is their curse, because they are basically trapped in a convent because they are giving people blessings. That's the whole shtick. They find somebody that is the opposite of them, so they've got to try and... I think they're going to be like we're working together on this and we're balancing each other out, but this time we just saw them rollerblade and sing. I don't think I can give it justice for what happened, because the first episode of each arc seems to be a bit of a we don't know what's really happening here, but we did get a big reveal at the end of it. You should go check it out to see what that reveal was, because I'm tired of spoiling everything for everyone. But that's going to do it for this week. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, grovel, and subscribe. But I will be back next week. Well, you'll probably see videos from me tomorrow. I've been Faye, you've been awesome, and I'll see you all then.